Yes, my dear friends, welcome back to the channel. Very good morning to you guys all out there, wherever you are. On the continent of Africa, in Europe, in America, Canada, Australia, or right here in Southeast Asia. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a beautiful Wednesday morning, and we are still analyzing our transfer window, the market, the trend. What has Chelsea done? Are we better off now as a football club and as a team going into next Champions League, or we are worse off? Are we better off facing our opponent in the Premier League? Yes. Can we, boldly face our opponent in this current Premier League season, 2025-2026 season? Are we set to go? Are we ready? The players we signed, did we upgrade? Or how? Ladies and gentlemen, quickly, I want to start on this note. I want us to look at the pros and the cons of the players we've signed. Yes, we got better, in my opinion. We've got better, not worse. But the transfer window, ended in underwhelming fashion. It ended in underwhelming fashion. Chelsea was expected to get those last-minute good signings like Xavi Simeone, the news that surrounded Chelsea's final days of the transfer window wasn't good. Coupled with Nicolas Jackson issue, which, if you want to analyze it carefully, it is difficult to blame Jackson and it's difficult to blame the club. And I'll get to that maybe in my second video. But ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk about the pros and the cons of the players we've signed. Joao Pedro. He's good to go. And he started on the right foot. Dilap, that was bought for 30 million. Good business. Yes, good business. But we are yet to see whether he can deliver truly or not in this current Chelsea setup. Playing for Chelsea is a top club. It comes with pressure. So we are yet to see Dilap. Unfortunately, he's injured and he will come back and he's going to start again as if he's coming back new. Or he's just been signed new. 8 weeks minimum, he'll be out. Minimum is 8 weeks. We've also got a backup for Moise Caicedo in Esugo. We've got a backup for Moise Caicedo in Esugo. Now, we've also got a backup for Cole Palmer in Buonanotte. We let go Kenyan Newsbury Hall and we got Buonanotte. Yeah, I've been told that he's quite good, so let me just hold my breath. Now, we didn't sell Trevor Chalobah, and we've gotten Andrew Santos also as part of that midfield setup. Ladies and gentlemen, many decent prices on outgoings. Now, with these players that I've mentioned, remember the players that Chelsea let go, the players that Chelsea allowed to go. You analyze them side by side with the players we got in. I've always forgotten about Noni Madueke. Yeah. Okay, we've gotten Gittins in place of Moidrick. Yeah, we've gotten Gittins in place of Moidrick. And we've gotten Garnacho that is equally good for same position. So it's going to be Gittins, Garnacho. Do you get it? Now, if you put Gittins, you put Garnacho all together with this squad, I think in overall, we are better off. But is it a good business? Can we say we have done great in transfer window? Ladies and gentlemen, now let's go to the cons. I told you pros and cons, right? Let's go to the cons before I'll rate it finally. We still have a center back situation, and it's a bit, a little bit nervy. We still have a problem with our center back. Fofana cannot be trusted for the entire season. Levaikowa is not available. So we have to rely more on Trevor Chalobah and Tosin, plus Hacho, that we are yet to test fully. Our goalkeeper situation is also a nervy one, unresolved. Goalkeeping situation is a nervy one, unresolved. Trusting Sanchez into the new season, just as many have said, we cannot rely on Jackson to deliver all the goals for us, or Jackson failed us last season. The same way Sanchez, this is the issue. The same way also Sanchez also failed Chelsea last season in many ways. Now, Chelsea didn't make any marquee signing, which most of us were hoping for. Delap now injured. These are the cons. Delap injured. If you minus Delap injury and you look at our current signings, Joao Pedro, Gittins, Garnacho, yes, Buonanotte on loan, it's on loan. Estava, he was our player, we just brought him in. And then Andrew Santos. These are 6 players. Ladies and gentlemen, these are all average players, in exception of Joao Pedro, that has brought a little spark up front. The rest, including Estaval, that is still developing. So, it's up to you to judge. To average it and compare to other top 4 teams, I'm giving Chelsea 4.8 out of 10. We've gotten better, yet we are still below 5 out of 10. I'm saying it. You see, the fact that Chelsea could not end the season well, and now we have to rely on I hear Washington is also coming. David Washington is also coming back. He scored 2 goals in 20 games with Santos. 2 goals in 20 games. So he's also coming back. So we have David Washington. We have McGuay as our backup striker. To Delap, that is injured. He is the one stepping in now for Delap, as Delap is injured. Then Joao Pedro, who we understand, he was not signed to be the main 9. We understand Chelsea see Joao Pedro as a player that can play behind the striker in any of the front lines. And Chelsea's plan was to have 2 9s, which is Jackson and Delap. Unfortunately, at the time that Delap came in, he was suspended in a Club World Cup in a game, right? And Jackson also was suspended. Jackson had an issue, yes. Delap had an issue, and Jackson was suspended. So Joao Pedro now was made to play that number 9 role, and he delivered. Due to that, as a tournament, the coach now had confidence to make use of Joao Pedro more in that position. This is where the problem started from. The moment Jackson came back and the coach still put more faith in Joao Pedro, that was when Jackson's issue started from. So we played the Club World Cup. He didn't even play that finals. If you remember, Jackson was not allowed to play in the though he qualified to play in the finals. He finished 7 his ban then, his suspension, but he was not allowed to play even a minute in the finals. Then the players went for recess, for break, 2 weeks break. When they came back, whilst on 2 weeks break, that was when he now made a request that he should be allowed to look for other options. And Chelsea could not convince him. That is where I had a problem with the manager. If you know that you want the guy to stay, you would have spoken to him. See my reasons why I made those decisions. And this is what we think. But you allow the player to go. That means that you are not ambitious enough, Maresca. You are not ambitious enough. Knowing how the transfer window was going, how the window was going to end, you are not, if you were ambitious enough, you would love to keep your players, especially those that you think can help you. Yes, Maresca is not ambitious enough. You think Pedro will just, because the player says, if I'll not be getting time, so I want to look at other options. Why? They'll sit the player there in the office, they'll have a discussion. Jackson will sign you a DLAP to bring competition so that you two can handle the situation. Joao Pedro has a different role to play. But, well, you have to talk to the player. I maintain Maresca lack managerial skills. He's a good tactician. Yes, let's not take that away from him. Ladies and gentlemen. Like Troy Deeney has rightfully said, for me, he is the signing of the summer so far. A lot of talk about Alexander Isak and Florian Wirtz and all these different players. But Joao Pedro has hit the ground running at Chelsea. The team kind of feels like he is already. It feels like he's going to be the one who is going to be that special piece in Chelsea. That is the feeling for Joao Pedro. So, no matter how you want to look at it, Joao Pedro is a good signing. But with the departure of Jackson, and Chelsea could not replace him with any top-notch striker, that is the reason why I'm giving 4.8 as my grading. Now, breaking news. Chelsea are actively in talks with Qatar Airways and Riyadh Air for a lucrative front-of-shirt sponsorship deal, as the club seeks to secure a long-term partnership valued at around £65 million per year. So Chelsea are looking at this, either Qatar Airways or Riyadh Air. These two. One in the coming days could be announced as our front-of-shirt sponsor. Ladies and gentlemen, now, there is optimism in Chelsea hierarchy that Chelsea is in a better position right now to challenge for the title this season than last season. Chelsea believe that with the new acquisitions we have, we are in a better position to challenge for titles this season than we were last season. They believe that we are closer to winning the title. Chelsea feels their squad is better than the one that finished fourth last season. But they do not want to set the title as the target in order not to put so much pressure on the team. Ladies and gentlemen, to win the title, how you start the league matters a lot. Now, in this month of September, after the international break, here are the teams Chelsea are going to be facing. Because we are talking about winning title this season. Our next 5 games, ladies and gentlemen, Chelsea will meet Brentford away on Saturday, 13th of September. Then we will now meet Bayern away in Champions League football, 17th of September. After that, on the 20th, 3 days after, we are meeting Manchester United. Also away. So our next 3 games are all away. Yes. Remember, United are not in Europe. So they will have a full week to prepare. But Chelsea will have only 2 days in between games. Then, 27th of September, Chelsea play Brighton at home. 30th of September, another 2 days after, 30th, we are playing Benfica again in the Champions League. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Chelsea's next 5 games after the international break, all in this month. Remember, 5 games in 2 weeks. Because they are on international break. They are coming back next weekend, not this weekend. So they come back next weekend. So 5 games in 2 weeks or 2.5 weeks, ladies and gentlemen. It is what it is. Like I said earlier on, David Washington has been recalled back from Santos. The striker returned, to Chelsea, scoring just 2 goals in 23 matches. 2 goals in 23 matches. So the player has been called back. I'm about to run up. A big transfer window for Liverpool. They eclipsed the 434.5 million spent by Chelsea in the summer of 2023. Ladies and gentlemen, Liverpool final expenditure 446 million pounds. 446 million pounds. That is the amount Liverpool spent this season. This coach, he came in, he got just 2 players for last season. In addition to the squad he inherited from club, he won the league title. Now that he have strengthened to this extent, what do you think? They have already beaten us now. Are we ready, Chelsea? Are we ready? Well, I'll be back with more analysis. Remember, we are on international break, so as we analyze things, we don't have any game this week. I will continue to come your way with breaking news, exclusives, and analysis in the coming hours. I'll see you guys in the next one when you see me. Shalom and peace.